Well, this is awkward.
Penang, Malaysia is an island of diversity, boasting stunning coastline with hidden beaches, a vibrant and colourful art scene, and some of the most delicious food in all of Southeast Asia. We were lucky enough to spend 6 weeks living here and exploring all of the best spots. And honestly, we really fell in love with this place. My name is Ryan, and this is my list of the very best things to do in Penang, Malaysia. Let's kick things off with the most famous place to visit. If you've heard of Penang, then chances are you've heard of Georgetown, the island's buzzing capital city. From the mid-1900s, Penang was under British colonial rule, leaving behind a city full of colourful architecture. It's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and essential viewing for any visitor.
The more you walk around Georgetown, the more you start to notice all the little details. Like all the house and shop fronts are just so unique and different from each other.
Georgetown is an explosion of colour and creativity. But these days, its artistic flair has taken on a whole new medium that leaves no wall untouched.
When you're in Georgetown, you obviously have to check out all of the amazing street art. Either walk around by foot or rent some bicycles, and just make sure you explore and find all of those hidden gems.
Georgetown's street art revolution began in 2012 when Lithuanian artist Ernest Zakarevic was commissioned to create some pieces that reflected the local life and culture of Penang. And many of his most famous original pieces can still be seen today. Since then, more and more street art has appeared all over the city. Some in a similar style and some completely different. Now, it's one of the island's biggest attractions. There's even an art lane hidden between buildings, which is a free gallery just dedicated to graffiti. But my favourite place to see some street art deserves its own entry to this list. As you walk around the old town, you'll see a few spooky-looking abandoned buildings. But one in particular has been completely reclaimed and rejuvenated.
This place used to be a bus depot, which was then abandoned, and now it's been transformed into this amazing mural garden.
The Hin Bus Depot is now a community art space, covered in cool sculptures and amazing murals. Most days of the week, it's a really nice and peaceful spot to relax, with a few nice cafes and shops hidden between the walls of artwork. But on the weekends, it hosts a vibrant pop-up market, showcasing work and products from local artists and businesses. There's also changing art exhibitions to look around, and some really nice live music performances. You can also grab some great food and drinks here, so it's the perfect place to head to if you just want to sit back, relax, and take in a really nice atmosphere. But honestly, Georgetown is just the tip of the iceberg of why I came to love Penang so much. In fact, the nature on the island is just as interesting and diverse, starting off with the beaches. Batu Ferenghi is a resort town sitting on a stunning stretch of Penang's coastline. This is where people come for their big resort hotels, nightlife and water sports. It's a great place to relax on the sand and enjoy some drinks from one of the many bars. And we saw some really amazing sunsets here. But if you want to find Penang's best beaches, away from the crowds of tourists, you need to work a little bit harder.
Today we are in Penang National Park, which is actually the smallest national park in the whole world. We're hiking through the rainforest to Turtle Beach, which would take about an hour and a half.
We took a taxi to the main entrance, and the park itself is free to enter.
Yes, from here we can stop you automatically.
After we signed in, we headed onto the trail. The trail itself is very well signposted, and it's a really stunning walk through all of the tropical greenery. And best of all, we barely saw any other people.
It's actually a pretty gentle hike, to be honest. Nothing too crazy, so you can just walk through and enjoy the nature.
We took our time in the heat, and there were plenty of places to cool down. And after we beat a few small obstacles,
Oh, my knee.
we were rewarded with a little slice of paradise on the other side.
So the trail opens out onto this bridge, and on the other side is Turtle Beach. It's a really nice beach. So peaceful, there's barely anyone here. The only downside is that you're not allowed to swim in the water because it's full of jellyfish, so it's a good reason. The reason it's called Turtle Beach is because at night the turtles come in from the sea and they line up all along this beach here, which I bet is amazing to see. They also have a turtle sanctuary here, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about it because it just seems to be sort of big plastic buckets with big turtles in. At the park entrance, we already booked a boat that's going to pick us up from this beach and take us along to the next one down the coast, which is called Monkey Beach. So we're just heading there now.
Our boatman found us on the beach and took us on a trip around the stunning coastline. After a short journey, we arrived at our second beach of the day. Monkey Beach is a very different vibe to Turtle Beach. There's a selection of beach shack restaurants and bars, and there are a lot more people spending the day here, probably because you can actually swim in the sea. There are actually some overnight camping options available on Monkey Beach, which sounds like a really cool experience. But we decided to head back inland to check out Penang's best viewpoint. Getting views like this down on the island below is a must-see, and Penang Hill is one of the most popular attractions for tourists. For 10 ringgit, you can take a really fast funicular train up to the peak, and when you get out at the top, you're rewarded with the best views down onto the island, and you can even see the mainland in the distance. The peak is very crowded and touristy with a selection of different attractions up there, but there is one area that is definitely worth your time. We took a lift even higher up the hill to check out the Habitat, which offers a chance to enjoy even more of Penang's beautiful rainforest. It's an extra cost for entry, but I think it's worth it. There are bridges offering some nice views over the surroundings. And you can even stop to relax at one of the many swinging benches hidden between the trees. The highlight of this section is definitely the Treetop Walk experience, which is a modern canopy structure offering 360-degree views over the greenery.
Amazing views from up here. Awesome.
After a quick trip back down the hill, it's time to take a look at another one of Penang's best experiences.
The food is arguably Penang's biggest draw. The melting pot of cultures has created a food scene like no other. It would take me absolutely ages to go through every single great place to eat on the island, so instead, here's a list of dishes that you absolutely have to try.
First off is nasi lemak. It's usually comprised of rice served with some spicy sambal, fried crispy anchovies, toasted peanuts and cucumber.
But if you're going to do it properly, you have to have nasi lemak in a banana leaf.
You'll mostly find these on street stalls that people can just grab and eat on the go.
I'm in heaven.
Next up is Hokkien mee, which originated in China, but the Penang version is unique to this area. It's essentially a prawn noodle soup with pork, and the rich flavours are a must try.
Oh, it's nice. It's a nice bit of spice. You've got prawns, you've got pork in there. Delicious.
Any visitor to Penang should taste some traditional laksa. This is another soup made with mackerel and tamarind, giving it a distinctive tangy sourness, which is actually really refreshing in the hot weather. In terms of eating experiences, I'd recommend everyone tries eating at a Nasi Kanda cafe. Not only is it a great way to try loads of local dishes at once, they're also really affordable, and you just pay for the amount of food that you want. And there are so many restaurants in this style that some of them have started using theming to pull in the punters. Penang is football mad, and restaurant MU Tunas commits to their favourite team. It's a great little cafe serving really delicious food, and the owner just happens to be the biggest Man United fan on the island. He shows every game on a big screen outside and decorates the walls with loads of his own personal Man United memorabilia. He actually gave me a personal tour around it when he saw us. He was a really nice guy and he looked after us so well. The perfect example of the great local hospitality you can find here, especially when you're a Red. Penang also has some really amazing food markets, but my absolute favourite was the Georgetown night market. It's right on the outskirts of Georgetown, right outside the apartment building where we stayed, and you can find loads of great local treats here. By the way, if you're interested in seeing where we lived and all of our living costs in Penang, you can check out the last video on my channel. Penang is an extremely multicultural place, and you can see equal amounts of striking mosques and Hindu and Buddhist temples in all corners of the island. But the most expansive and impressive temple you can visit is Kek Lok Si, the largest Buddhist temple in the whole of Malaysia. You can spend hours exploring the many different levels, including ornate gardens, grand halls, and stunning artwork. You can also get some really nice views from up here. But the most amazing time to come here is during the month-long Lunar New Year celebrations, when the entire place is lit up with over 10,000 lanterns and lights. I made a whole video about this experience, which you can also check out on my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it or found it useful, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And if I missed anything, leave a comment down below.